Hello, everyone. This is Leah Klein, Health and Wholeness Coach. And today, my question for you is: are you plugged in? Our verse is Psalm 36:9. For with you is the fountain of life, and in your light do we see light. So, we have a picture of God being a fountain, a wellspring of like the living water that Jesus talked about at the well, and Him being the source of our life. He is who we need to be plugged into for our life to be fulfilling, to have meaning. If we're not connecting with Him and what He wants us to be doing, it doesn't really work, and we find ourselves trying to fill holes that we can't fill because we were never meant to fill them. The only thing that can fill them is God. And the second part of our verse is talking about light. Now, I'm planning on highlighting verses talking about light over the next probably at least a couple months or more. There's a lot of them. So there is a lot of profound meaning in, light versus darkness. And God, of course, is always the light. And in this verse, it's talking about His light allows us to see. We see light because He is the source of our light. And God is the revealer who dispels the darkness. Darkness cannot exist in His presence. And, it says in Revelation that there's no need for sun or moon or stars, because God is the light in heaven. And that kind of boggles our minds because we're going, but right now, the way our physical bodies are, we were made to need light, need the physical light of the sun. We get benefit from that in that that's how our body produces vitamin D, which is essential for our immune system and staying healthy. And if we're not getting enough light, then sometimes we have to, take some natural forms of it in supplements because we need it that much. And that's one of the ways that we need the light, but we also need it for psychological reasons. When we're constantly in darkness, our brain gets dark, it gets muddled, it gets not clear in its thinking, and you get depressed when you're not in the light enough. And so just going outside, taking a walk can completely shift your mental and physical state. It can reduce your stress, besides just getting your brain, clearing out the cobwebs so you can actually think again. So remember to use the light that God has given us for your benefit. Being in it early in the morning helps set your clock, internal clock, so that your body knows when to start producing melatonin and when to start winding down for the night. If you're sleeping late or sleeping on weird shift patterns or, because of work, your body gets all messed up. It's not designed to work that way. And so if you're having to do that, I strongly recommend you, as soon as you can, stop. But back to talking about light and dark. And of course, God created the sun and the moon and the sources of our light. And he created those for us, for our good, and he also declared them to be good. It doesn't mean that you should, spend hours and hours in it. I burned myself that way. I don't have, dark colored skin that actually, tans. My skin has never really done that. It's mostly the freckles move closer together, but if I'm out regularly for at least a little while, my skin adjusts to it. If you do it slowly over time, your skin gets to where it can handle more of it than it can, first thing in the spring when you've been covered up all winter long. But anyway, it's better. Don't go outside right now and decide, oh, let's go to Florida and sunbathe, or something like that. Not a good plan. You have to gradually acclimate your skin, and then you don't usually burn as easily, and you can still get the vitamin D, which is something that you're actually not getting if you're slathered with sunblock and everything else. You're actually not producing vitamin D because you're not really exposed to the sun. It's blocking some of the things that you actually need for your health. So use it cautiously, and also be careful what ingredients are in it. That's a whole other story. So let's not go down that rabbit trail too far. So coming back to what my call for you to do today is pray. Pray to God and plug into his fountain and light. Let him dispel any, darkness you may be experiencing. And really good way of doing this, of course, is to go on a retreat. I regularly talk about spending time one-on-one with God in his creation, and doing it one-to-one with God, or doing it in a more group type setting where you're having one-on-one time, things like that, which is what I have led in the past and will be doing some more of. The online event has been pushed out a few months, and I will get back to you with a new date on that when we're ready to start, launching that again. So if you saw something on that and were confused, we decided to postpone that. So it's still happening, and of course we will still be doing some in-person event stuff, but that's largely going to be, here in Arizona. At this point, because that's where I live, and it's more convenient for me to not have to go somewhere else and try to do an event, which is another reason for the postponement that's beneficial. We will actually be planning on shooting the online event actually from my house. So you will get to see more of it than the little corner that you get to see in these videos, and my office where I shot all the interviews, if you were watching the series. But anyway, go on a retreat. Don't wait until I'm doing one. You can go do one yourself. And let's wrap up today by singing Here I Am to Worship. And you probably know this one, so feel free to sing along. Light of the world, you stepped out into darkness. Open my eyes, let me see. Beauty that made this heart adore you, hope of a life spent with you. Here I am to worship, here I am to bow down, here I am to say that you're my God. You're altogether lovely, altogether worthy, altogether wonderful to me. King of all days, oh so highly exalted, glorious in heaven above. Humbly you came to the earth you created, all for love's sake became poor. So here I am to worship, here I am to bow down, here I am to say that you're my God. You're altogether lovely, altogether worthy, altogether wonderful to me. And I will see you next week with another verse. See you then.